And I have 3 finished objects, but none of them are quite finished just yet. Let's get into it. Welcome to the TheYarnChicken podcast. My name is Elisabeth. I am a knitter from Sweden, and today I'll go through with you my recently finished objects and what I need to do to actually get them finished properly. I will show you my current works in progress, and I will chat a bit about future plans and purchases. So, first up, I have my Amy top by Mochi Knits. Now, I've finished this completely. I've worn it twice, 3 times, and I really like how it looks. I like how it hangs. I like how it fits. The only thing I don't like is the collar. It flips up. It curls up like crazy. Now, this I haven't knit on gauge. I haven't knit with the recommended yarn either. I have sort of made up a size between sizes, and that's probably what's coming back to bite me right now. So this is the Isager trio. I've knit this project on 3.5mm needles. The yarn in the pattern is an animal fibre, and it is knit on 4mm needles. So I'm off gauge and I'm off fabric, and this stockinette collar just flips up. I've knit this collar 3 times now, I think. I've changed needle sizes and I've changed the bind off that I've used, and it just keeps defaulting back to rolling up. And I know that a stockinette edge will roll up. I just wish I could make it a little bit less noticeable. So I'm going to redo it one more time. But about this pattern, it's knit top down. You start with the back, you do some short row shaping for the back, then you pick up for the front, leaving a decorative seam on the shoulder. You pick up for the front and you knit your side pieces. And when you're ready to connect in the front, you knit the button band or the plaque in the front, because that overlaps here at the bottom. Then you join in the round and you knit to your heart's content. The armholes are shaped in the front and the back, and then the body is just knit in a straight stockinette. I bound off using a regular lifted over bind off, and for the collar I picked up stitches as was intended. You do a 3 row long little mini collar, and then you join both sides together and you knit the collar. You knit with one size and then you size up, and then at the end you do the Icelandic bind off, and it's not stretchy enough. So what I think I will do is at the back of the collar, or at the shoulders actually. I don't know what's going to make more sense, but I think I'll do some increases to add a bit of fabric around the circumference of the collar to make it lie flatter against my shoulders and my back. So that's what I'm going to do. Man, I'm so out of breath. My asthma is not medicated well at all at the moment, and it just absolutely sucks to be breathless from talking. And I feel it's so unfair as well, because I am an active person. I have done everything in my power to not have to be breathless when I talk. I take my medication, I do cardio and aerobic exercises weekly, I mean multiple times a week. My lung health, this is such a tangent, but I talked to my asthma nurse and she said that my lung health is that of a 20-year-old. I'm 32, so my lungs are great, but my airways are shit. It pisses me off. So sorry if I sound a little bit breathless. It's just my asthma. And yeah, the Mochi Knits Amy top is great. It's very lightweight. I love it. The trio one is a cotton viscose linen mix. It's very summer-proof. It's dark enough to be appropriate to wear. If I wear it at the office, then I'll slap on some nipple covers, but otherwise no nipple covers needed. And it's a really neat design. I did learn a few new techniques along the way, especially the button plaque. I had to redo that 2 or 3 times, I think, and the third time around I actually really liked it. The pickup rate for the side of the button plaque is a bit finicky to get. She has a few ways to remedy it if your gauge isn't adding up, and I did have to try all of them to get it to work properly, but I think it's good. And it's already a really good summer staple, even though the collar situation isn't perfect yet. But I mean, I'm no stranger to summer knits not being perfect. This is my Feels Right tee by Lily Kate France, and these sleeves are not perfect by any means, and I thought that I would go back and fix them, and I haven't just yet, but I have some more of the yarn, so I think I could just I'll get around to it at one point or another. But that's for the Amy top. I have I have 2 more finished objects. One finished object is a pair of kids' slippers. These are the Sailor slippers by Annie Germain. I used the smallest adult size. I sized down on my needles and I felted them. They are now 3 sizes bigger than they should be, so I am going to refelt these by hand, I think, to get them to size down even more. These are for my middle nibbling. He loves pink, and I had a lot of pink scraps left from my bachelorette trip shenanigans where I knit 6 or 7 pairs of slippers for adults, and I was very happy to get rid of the scraps because I don't wear a lot of pink at all myself. So his are finished. I then have one more finished object. This is a self-drafted pattern. This is the first version of it, and this is also the reason why I haven't updated my knitting bingo yet, because I want to have this finished before I update it so I can cross off that tile. But I am getting around to, I mean, it's a bit too late now. I should have updated it a week ago, but you know what? I'll update it next week and maybe then I will be finished. This is a knitted baseball cap, and this is, as I said, the first version. I haven't added like the proper reinforcement. This is just to see how the size is. It is giving Boy Scouts at the moment. So for this version, I did my calculations, I did a mock-up basically, and then for the next version, I moved out the brim ever so slightly so it's broader, because this is a bit too narrow, I think. It won't cover a lot of sun. I also, what did I do? Yeah, I elongated, or I extended the length of it, so it's going to be closer to the ears, and I did something different for the ties. So the plan for this is a knitted fully cotton baseball cap, and it's going to have a tie in the back so you can adjust the size a bit and do a big bow, a small bow, whatever you feel like. And my plan is to have this released within, I don't know, a month probably. So keep your eyes peeled. If you follow me on Instagram, which is _yarn.chicken_, you will see when I release this pattern. So I'm very excited about it. This feels like a good first try. Getting the seams for this was a bit of trial and error. These are slipped stitch faux seams to sort of show the different sections of the hat, and that's where I do the decreases as well. And in the back, I'll show you. It has this little hoop, I don't know what it's called, and it ties as well in the back. The yarn that I used for this is Søstrene Grene, 100% cotton, 8 through 4, whatever that means. It is 160 meters per 50 grams, so this perfectly corresponds to drops, what is it, drops saffron? No, they have one, and I'll add it on the screen, the name. They have a cotton that is exactly this. So I have ordered this cotton from Drops as well, because that's more accessible to more people, I would guess. So I'm going to do one finished hat in that as well, so I know that my math actually checks out, because this pattern only uses one ball of cotton. So that's a quick, oops, it's a quick summer knit, and I hope to have it out before the summer is over. So that's my third finished object. The fourth is one of these, exactly the same colour with the modifications that I told you about. I think I'll have to do at least one more modification round, but that's now, it's blocking in the kitchen, and I'll have to add the brim as well. So for my works in progress, as I said, I have a nearly finished ABC, Amazing Baseball Cap, in the kitchen. It's blocking. That needs the brim, and I have another quite big work in progress, which is my Olga sweater. This is a pattern by PetiteKnit. If you've seen anything on social media, if you've followed anyone knitting on social media, I guess you've seen this. This is her striped, oversized drop shoulder pattern. It's knit top down with a trapezoid shape for the back with short rows. You pick up for the front and knit and join in the round. Then you finish with a short rib, 1x1 rib, and then a short section of double knitting, and then an Italian bind off. I did that with a friend yesterday. She had made an amazing pavlova, and we had some Thai food and some rosé wine, and it just felt like such a summery girls' night. And I had been putting off knitting this because the thought of a full circumference of Italian bind off was just daunting. So I had knit up until this point where my stitch marker is. I wet blocked it once to see, like I did a mid-project block to see how far along am I, how much length do I need. I figured I would need one more repeat of the white and the green stripes, and then I'll do the finishings. And I think that's a good length. It's not too cropped. It's going to be good even in the autumn. I'm really excited to have this when I go back to work next week, because I really feel like my wardrobe is lacking in the summer appropriate knits, the summer work appropriate knits. Because with this t-shirt, I mean, it does look a bit frumpy with these sleeves. And also if it's cold because of, I don't know, the weather or the AC at the office, I don't really have a good middle ground option. So this is my attempt at that. This is knit in Drops Belle, which is a cotton linen mix. It feels really nice. It is warmer than you would guess from a summer fibre. Because of the cotton, it really sort of locks in your body temperature, but also the linen cools it off, so it transports any like moisture away from your body, which feels really nice. I am now working on 2 points because I knit the collar, and I now have to fold it over and knit it into itself on the inside, and that's going to be a bit fiddly. So I decided yesterday, when we were watching the 3-body problem, we've actually gone around to watch that now, my partner and I. When we watched that, it didn't feel like the moment to, you know, focus on anything except what's happening on the screen. So instead of finishing that, I picked up for the sleeve and I started knitting, because the sleeves are still a bit too short. I think I'll have to add at least, I don't know, 2 or 3 repeats of the white and green before I do the cuff. But then this just needs to be, these ends need to be woven in, and I had planned to duplicate stitch a lemon on on it. I'm on such a lemon kick at the moment, or for the last few years. In my old apartment, I actually painted lemons on my kitchen wall. If I have a picture, I'll put it up. But I just love the lemon pattern so much. I mean, it's the contrast, great. I love green, I love yellow. They're so happy. So I thought that I would add a duplicate stitched lemon on this. Then I saw today that CM Knits has finally released her gingham fruit pattern. When I tell you that I bought this pattern immediately, I'm not lying. I was like, my app is too slow, I need this. So I bought the yarn for it. I went for Drops Cotton Merino because that's something that I've used before and I really like, for colour work and for just plain stockinette. And I have so many, I'm so excited for that. So that yarn is going to be here in a week, and until then I will just have to, finish this. Right, I'm knitting this on 4mm needles for the body and 3.5 for the cuff and for the collar. And the collar is actually really neat as well, because to get the folded over edge, you do a bunch of slipped stitches or like double knitting but with slipped stitches to sort of make the fabric fold over on itself, which is really neat, and I think it's going to make it look very very crisp, the edge. So I like knitting more niche designers and like old patterns and free patterns, but these really big designers that just have a wealth of knowledge at their hands and have the resources to make that knowledge accessible to people, because this solution I wouldn't have thought of myself, and it feels like such a neat thing that I could implement in my future knitting plans myself. So that's really great. I mean, I understand why people love PetiteKnit so much. This is a very easy to follow pattern. I'm knitting the size medium, which is the one that corresponds to my bust circumference, and it's just neat, isn't it? I also have another cheeky little work in progress. These are slippers for my oldest nibbling, who isn't as much into pink but isn't opposed to pink. So I have some pastel-y colours for the top and then a solid blue for the bottom. And I've knit one full and I am knitting now the second one, just trying to use up these leftovers as much as possible. This is Drops Snow, so the recommended yarn for this pattern, and I'm using 5mm needles, I think, for this. Yeah, 5mm needles, whereas the pattern calls for, I think, 8. So I'm going to finish those, felt them, and send them off together with the pink ones. But now I have a conundrum, because tomorrow I'm going on a long train ride, and then on Sunday I'm coming home on a really long train ride. So I need something to do during that time. And yes, some of this time is going to go to editing this video, hopefully publishing it soon as well. But some of that time is definitely going to be knitting as well. And yes, I could just knit a bunch of my ABCs, but I don't know if I want to do that, or if I want to cast on a new project, because I have another lemon related project that I would like to do, which is also a pattern that I would like to make. But then again, I have my cardigan that I want to finish and also write a pattern for, which is like a cabled lace cardigan with like a 3D motif, which I think is going to look absolutely great, and I would love for it to be finished in time for autumn for people to actually knit it. So right now I feel a bit like a decision paralyzed, because I have so many great things that I want to knit on. But I have made one purchase since last episode, because I think the yarn for my gingham fruit pullover sweater, I'll show you when it gets here, because it feels silly to talk about it before I actually have my hands on it. Where did my last go. Here, so I have 3 colours of the Søstrene Grene cotton. So these colours are for a lemon colourway and these colours are for a tomato colourway. I would like to duplicate stitch it on the front of the cap because there is, as you can tell, quite a big swatch of just empty stockinette, and I think a cheeky little lemon or cheeky little tomato on it would look really cute. So that's what I'm going to do for these, and I haven't decided yet which colours to do what with, but I've also ordered the drops version of this cotton to make one version with that as well. So I know that the yarn that I'm talking about as being equal to this actually is equal to it. So that's my recent yarn purchase, and I bought the pattern for the gingham fruit sweater. What else have I bought? No, I think that's it for purchases for this time around. So I would say that that is it for today's episode of my knitting podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel good, happy knitting summer vibes. I'm currently looking at the weather and it's looking quite dark and ominous, which I really enjoy after having such a heat wave that we've had the last few weeks. I am nearly at the point where I don't want to do summer knits anymore. So, you know, I'm getting into the longing for autumn knits, and I think that's a good sign because, I don't know, I didn't really feel like doing a lot of summer knitting this year. This sweater is a summer knit, but it's also going to be a nearly year-round appropriate thing, not for like the dead of winter, at least not in Sweden. And the ABC is hopefully going to be a year-round staple as well, because I don't have any good baseball caps. I have one in like a velvet and that is crazy hot. So, and this I also can finish or can change, but don't really have to. This is going with me on my trip. This is going with me on my trip to be finished, and these are going with me on my trip to be turned into an ABC. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourself. Go drink some water if you haven't. Go pet an animal if you haven't in a while. Go touch some grass if you haven't. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Oh my god, my leg has fallen asleep. Speaking of being 32.